Conrad the Storyteller here with Storytime for the everyday people of the world. Today's episode, The Pilot and the Freezing Man. It's a cold morning in New York City, but the sidewalks near Rockefeller Center are already full of pedestrians hurrying to and fro. In a nearby doorway, in plain sight, lies a homeless 40-year-old war veteran, slowly freezing to death under a thin layer of old newspapers. It seems that his mind was affected by his war experience and he fell into drug addiction, which has brought him to this fate. Meanwhile, out at a nearby airport, a young man from a very wealthy and famous family is leaving the ground for a joyride in his new airplane. He flies out over the ocean where something immediately happens to the motor of his plane and he crashes into the cold water. After a short time, the disappearance of his plane is noticed by air traffic control and an all-out effort is immediately launched to save the life of the young pilot before he freezes to death in the cold ocean water. Search planes are launched and the Coast Guard immediately deploys a fleet of boats in the effort to locate the young man. Television crews scrambled in their helicopters and filled the airways with calls trying to obtain directions to the crash site. They send breaking news flashes to television networks all over the world, and vast numbers of people hang on to every update about the progress on locating the missing pilot. While that tremendous effort is taking place out over the ocean, the life of the homeless war veteran slowly slips away in the freezing air on a public street within reach of hundreds of people. His legs were not covered by the newspaper and were exposed for all to see. Not a single person stops. No one is interested in wasting their time on a dirty human being lying in a doorway. Why were the two events treated so differently? Is one human life actually more valuable than another? Suppose it had been you lying under that newspaper in that doorway. Everyday people of the world, if humanity is to survive, empathy must transcend all that is separating us, and we must realize that every new baby that is born naked into this world, and not one of them is entitled to any more or any less of what this beautiful world has to offer. Conrad the Storyteller.